Good afternoon, I'm James Sawyer, reporting for Sportuccino. We're here at the WhyScout Forum and I'm here with former England #1, David James. David, what brings you here today?
Former? I played in a Masters game last week, beat the Germans 4-2. What brings me to the WhyScout Forum? Well, I've been using WhyScout for a few years now. First started when I was player manager in India. Currently doing a lot of stuff for BT Sport, so I use the platform as a homework facility, and yeah, I love it. And why am I here at the forum? Because I just wanted to meet the rest of the world that uses WhyScout and how much it is involved in basically day-to-day football.
How influential do you think it will be in the future of football clubs across the world?
Massively. I mean, ultimately there's going to be a price aspect to any kind of usage of footage or scouting techniques, and you would argue that the teams at the top end of the ladder can afford to spend much more on their own individual tailored sort of scouting design, if you like. However, I do know that the top football clubs also use WhyScout, and a lot of them are here because forums like this are very important for networking and starting. I'd argue starting, not necessarily finishing deals off, but the facility is so broad. You know, we're looking at video data to start with, we're looking at technical data, we're looking at profiling of players, video clipping and whatever else. So WhyScout offers all this, and as I say, I used it when I was in India, I've used it since then, and as a wannabe manager, I know I'll be using it in the future. And I think the days have gone a bit like Moneyball, where a load of guys just sit around a table and tell you how good a player is. People want to be able to see that, and one of the things I want to do using the WhyScout platform is essentially make more players visible, and not just professional players. We're talking lower league, even going towards non-league football.
So, in terms of all this data and statistical analysis that we get nowadays, how crucial do you think something like this would have been, this sort of technology would have been at the early days of your career?
Well, you would argue that it would be as important as it is now because everyone would have had it. Do you know what I mean? I'd say this is a stage in evolution in footballing terms, which is going to get even bigger. It will change. I mean, the way that people cover football at the moment, even and looking at some of the places here with regards to the way they video games of football, the technology is changing by the day, if you like. And WhyScout, I think, at the moment are in a great position to sort of utilise that because of the size of them. Any kind of data is important, but it's how it's used. And I kind of agree with some of the people who say you can get too much information and it doesn't mean a lot. It depends how you interpret that information. It depends what you do once you've interpreted it and how you're going to benefit from that information. And as a coach or as a manager, I love data, but I also love the fact that I can then utilise it and make better from a position of the player or the team that I'm looking at.
Amazing. So we know that you had a brief stint in India as a player manager, and now you're back with BT doing your punditry work. How's punditry treating you? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I say I love it. I do. I love the game, which is the most important thing. And as I say, I have to say, because of WhyScout, I've been able to enjoy it at a completely different level. In the past, it was a case of watching pundits and listening to other people's opinions on the game, whereas with the WhyScout format, I can watch my own games, form my own opinion, and then basically have confidence in me knowing what I know rather than listening to other people. But yeah, it's nice. I'm also doing hopefully starting my pro license next week. If I do that, then it gives me a chance to go into management, and once again, after my India experience, I have to say, and as I say, just utilise all this modern technology to produce a league-winning side. It's obvious.
So how did you? That's amazing. I believe. How did you find being a coach? You were a coach at Luton and a manager at, was it Kerala?
Kerala Blasters.
Yeah, that's the one. How did you find being a coach and manager?
Well, as a player manager, it was a fascinating experience because I had to kind of prepare myself for games as a player, and I also had to prepare the team as a manager. And there was conflict on different occasions where the manager was speaking in a player's position, if that makes sense. So I had to make some tactical decisions with regards to who had authority on match days and whatever. But thoroughly enjoyed it. We got beaten in the final. 94th minute, corner, lost 1-0. Down to the coach, that one, definitely. Not the manager, but no, I enjoyed it. And again, like now, I want to go into management. I'm sort of doing some stuff in my local team in Welling with regards to helping them out, just because I want to be involved in football and learn as much. And I think with India, you're looking at sort of semi-pros in a lot of senses, and facilities that you wouldn't see in any professional football at the moment, and having to contend with them, and seeing the scope for improvement that football's got globally. And again, I mean, we keep talking about this WhyScout forum, but we've got over 100 clubs from around the world here communicating with each other. I don't know of any other setup that would do this, and I know there are different forums around the world, but this seems very unique and very sort of scout orientated. So yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, I think this new technology is really gonna change the way we think about football. I remember reading in Stephen Gerrard's book how he said he felt he was playing differently, and he actually used technology such as this to find out that was the reason that he was playing differently, and changed his game based on that in towards the end of the 2014-15 season for Liverpool. Talking to Liverpool, former club of yours, what do you make of their push for the title this season?
Well, I mean, it's early stages, of course. I'm not surprised, though. I looked at them last season. What Jurgen Klopp did, I go back to one point, and that was a January transfer window. The fact they didn't bring anyone in or sign anyone permanently to join the club. Corker obviously joined in on a loan, but yeah, didn't bring anyone in. So he gave the confidence to a whole squad that they were going to get an opportunity to please him. They did that. They improved. Granted, they didn't win anything, but there was a massive improvement on players who a lot of pundits and I think a lot of the public had sort of written off, who came to the fore, the likes of Origi, who were sensational up until the injury at least. This season is a continuation of that, and we are seeing some performances from Liverpool which remind you of the side that nearly got the title a few years ago. And for Jurgen Klopp to do that, for such a belief to be at the club, I'm not, as I say, not totally surprised, although it is still early. The injury to Coutinho obviously will have an impact, but I don't think Liverpool is just about Coutinho now. I think 2 years ago it was pretty much him and a load of sidecars. But I like what's going on there.
Yeah, I agree. I massively like what's going on there. Like you said, it is a massive, massive blow. I'm a Liverpool fan myself, and it's a huge blow that Coutinho's in. I think it's 5 to 6 weeks, so hopefully not too long. And with the addition,
back in time for Manchester United.
Well, hopefully, yeah. And the addition of Sadio Mane this year in the summer has been a fantastic one.
And this is the other thing. I mean, I say the January window was the important one because he didn't bring anyone in. And again, that gave the confidence to a squad. Whoever didn't make it was because they had the opportunities and didn't take them. With the signings in the summer, the likes of Mane, the likes of Matip, I mean, these brought some quality in. And this is, again, enhanced. Karius, another one. You can see there's still room for improvement, but they're already good players who could become super players, which, as much as I'm friends with a lot of the scouting guys at Liverpool, I just genuinely think they've bought well, and now they've got the coach or a manager and the coaching staff around them to make the most improvements out of them. And this could be their season. Should be their season.
You heard it here first. Thank you very much for your time, David. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you ever so much. Take care. Is that all good? I'm hoping it's all good.